Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of New Game of Flame, the podcast you listen to if you want to keep updated on all new games for old microcomputers and consoles. Today's a special episode. I am joined by cousin Diego. Hello, Diego.
Hello, Andy.
And we're talking to super dev Pascal Belisle. Is that the right pronunciation?
In French, we say Belisle.
Belisle. Okay. So Pascal Belisle.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. He is the author of Kharzoid, the Trial of Kharzoid, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Oh.
It's early in morning here in Quebec.
Thank you for joining so early in the morning. Was it 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
9, yes.
9 now. That's good. Well, it's not too early. It's not 7 o'clock. At least that. Yeah. So, I think, first of all, we ask our guests at times, some advice on some snacks from the country where they're from. So we've had some other Canadian developers come on. Matt Hewson, he has given us some Canadian snacks advice. I think he's in a different region from yourself. So I'm wondering,
the other side. He's completely on the other side of the country in Vancouver, I think.
Yeah. So he has different snacks probably from you.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if our poutine has reached the Vancouver region yet, but here in Quebec we eat the famous poutine. Is French fries, gravy, and cheese. Curd.
I think
cheese.
I heard that one. But how is Putin written? Is it like the Russian president Putin?
Not exactly,
Right.
but in French, yes. I think no. It's Poutin. So there's a O.
Putin.
To make.
Okay.
But when the Ukraine war began, they wanted to rename the Putin to the Ukraine. I wasn't sure if it was a wise choice.
My God, no.
Yeah. Let's not mix snacks and politics.
No politics on this show. No, please, we don't.
No. So that's it.
Authentic Canadian poutine recipe featuring deep fried fries, poutine gravy, and white cheddar cheese. Oh, well, that's sort of a British cheese. Curds all tossed together. Do be careful when deep frying. A proper deep fryer is recommended. Oh, they look really good, actually. Oh,
yeah. So we have every variation possible. You add chicken, you add ground beef, you add everything you want. It's kind of origin of the word you put in.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think it is. You put in everything you want. But we have Anglicism, English word, French English here in Quebec. So
Yeah.
I think it's one of them. But it wasn't invented near where in the town where I live. So yeah, but you have to have the right kind of cheese, so it doesn't melt.
It shouldn't melt.
It shouldn't. No, it's supposed to stay curd. That's why you have difficulty finding a real good poutine outside Quebec. They all use some cheddar cheese that melt, and it kind of became gross.
Yeah, or like a big mess.
So
stringy mess of cheese. Okay, that's really good. How about something sweet as well?
Something sweet that
Put you on the spot there.
That's particular to our region.
Yeah.
The famous maple syrup. So I think it's
the
North American thing. I think Quebec is one of the biggest producer of maple syrup.
But that's not exactly a snack, is it? You don't really drink some maple syrup.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, but we use the sugar, the you we use it to produce even alcohol. We have a good cream alcohol. From that, we use all kind of candies. So
oh,
we put it on pancakes. So it kind of is part of everyday sugar. We use it like
like
sugar.
sugar, and it's
Yeah,
better probably than sugar. Well, I don't know. It's better than refined sugar, I'm guessing.
yeah, yeah,
Do you
Yeah.
have
absolutely.
any special favorite way to use it, or
Um,
creative way to use it?
no, my wife put it in is her coffee, but no, I don't. It's traditional pancake or
Right.
s- no, I don't have any unusual use for it.
Well, but the coffee is at least unusual to me. I haven't thought about that, and I drink a lot of coffee for
Oh,
sure. So
maybe
I
you should.
I should try that. Usually
Yeah.
we always have it in the fridge because we love it, even if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not from here.
Hmm.
And we use it, yeah, for crepes, for example, and pancakes types. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, of
we
course.
use it also at home here all the time. We tend to get the pure maple syrup, not because it's something you get flavored syrup. And this one, I think it's from Canada actually. It's got the Canadian maple leaf, in fact.
Okay.
And what do we use it for? Banana cake, especially, and other cakes. We use it in substitute of sugar.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
very good. And also, it's very interesting how they collect it. I saw a video on how they collect it. They put strings attached to trees, and the sap just slowly goes down into. It takes ages.
Yeah. the the vintage method is you have I don't know how to say in English, but uh, a recipient. you
Yep.
you just you just drill a hole in the tree and hang a recipient, and you with the horse you went around the trees and you empty the recipient in a large tank. After that, they went on a snowmobile to gather the maple water.
Yep.
Um, but nowadays, yeah, you have all kind of pipe and strings attached on trees. Yeah, it's like a tube, and big the big ones use a pump to 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 really
To
uh,
get it out from the tree. My God,
yeah,
very
and
aggressive.
it's very aggressive and it can damage the tree very much. So I'm not for using too aggressive method, but yeah, I'm lucky enough to have a family that my wife's father is still going around with his snowmobile gathering water.
Oh yeah,
We go there each year, and it's always a pleasure for the kid.
it must be an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think was it? I think Matt Houston was telling us. I always go back to that because it's so special. I think that where you put maple syrup, is it in the snow, and then you make
Oh
like
yeah.
a. That's nuts.
Yeah, you have to boil it more than syrup. It's really consistent. It's
Mm.
So when you put it on snow, it freezes and it becomes like caramel,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah. So but if you just put maple syrup on snow, it won't do that. It's not
Yeah,
sugar enough. It's not sticky enough. But you have
that's
to boil
incredible.
it more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah. Some a comedian used to joke about it. Quebecers love snow that much. They eat it with maple syrup.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, we love snow.
Yeah, I wish there was snow here. Here it's just cold and never snow. It's just like
No.
I'm already freezing. I've got like electric blankets and all sorts, but I don't know. It's just Britain. Seems like you're having a better time over there in Quebec, anyways. So, and you've
Yeah.
grown up there, so you're used to the cold. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
We uh, we're like Right, yeah, yeah. It's like a normal thing. It's 2 feet of snow and no problem. We use the car. We go everywhere.
Oh my
It,
god.
Society doesn't stop when there's 2 feet of snow.
Ah, it does here. Yeah, yeah. Of course. Yeah,
Bus-
yeah. You're used to it there, of course.
yeah, business as usual.
So I see you have some guitars behind you.
hmm Yeah,
Obviously you play the guitar. What sort of music you like? Diego is a big music fan.
yeah, y- yeah. I began. When I was very young, I really wanted to be a game developer, but somehow life got. I I had to make choices. So I went studying music.
Oh
I
wow.
became well, yeah. I played the classical guitar. I played in a band. Yeah, we played progressive rock like Rush, Pink Floyd, Genesis, all
Oh wow.
the
I
Genesis
love
from.
Pink Floyd. Yeah,
Sum up from me.
yeah.
Love Rush,
Yeah.
love
Oh,
progressive.
yeah, yeah, Rush from Canada. So, yes, but music is not uh, 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 really a way to earn your life. Uh,
It's
you
difficult,
have,
isn't it? Yeah,
yeah, you part-time job, and always difficult to to meet the end. So,
yeah.
so I went back to school to study web development, and I, I, I I kind of re, rediscover my love for programming and all of this. So I went to school at 37 years old to
That's
study computer science and became a web programmer.
all right.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, I went from guitar to but uh, it's yeah. I kind of it's kind of hard to explain, but um, I made a big detour to come back to my first love. But uh, it serves me very well, so I can make my own game music
Oh, that's awesome.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you know how
but
to program also like on the trackers and for music, chip music.
yeah, I I did try a Fami tracker,
Yeah,
uh, but I find it cryptic and I I didn't quite I wasn't able to use it to uh, I wasn't able to achieve what I wanted, what I
yeah.
hear. So I was too used to traditional piano roll and modern software. So I use Fami Studio.
I don't know that. Yeah, okay.
Fami Studio is like a strange coincidence. It's a guy who was born in my hometown who developed this. Um, but it's kind of a modern recording engine, but for cheap tunes. So you have the piano roll, and you can edit. You have to know how to create instruments and the particularity of cheap tune, but it's very nice. Yeah, it was.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, one of the questions I've got in the bucket for me is like to understand a bit more about you and growing up. What sort of consoles did you have? Is the NES your first love, or were there others?
No, in fact, my father bought a ColecoVision.
Oh,
Remember?
that's amazing machine.
Yeah. So we didn't have an Atari. Every one of my friend got an Atari, but I got a ColecoVision, and I
Mm.
think it was a bit superior at the time.
Yeah,
A
anything
little.
is superior to an Atari, especially 2600. Yeah, but
Yeah. So my first, of course, there was a Donkey Kong port. My first game was Donkey Kong on the ColecoVision, but
mm,
uh, we had the Smurf game, and
Smurfs. Oh,
yeah, the Smurf painting game. So you could paint a level and then move a Smurf around, and that was kind of my first experience as wanting to be a game developer. Uh, I was like 5 year old.
yeah.
So and I spent hours creating level and moving my Smurf
On the
around
ColecoVision.
on the
Oh, that's
ColecoVision.
nice. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Really.
There was no collision detection or nothing like that. You just move the Smurf around and pretend like you had a path to follow. But it was great.
Oh.
So it was my first love at playing and creating at the same time.
Do you still have one?
Not the original, my fighter board, but
No.
yes, I have one, but it doesn't work. You have the RAM chip on those were, or sometimes the on and off switch was the power switch was uh,
Not
there's a
very good.
problem. So it displays a scramble character, and I'm very sad that it doesn't work. It cost a lot to fix it.
Really? If it's a RAM chip, it shouldn't cost too
Ah,
much.
I know.
Oh.
I wish I could do this myself. But
I'm fixing this television. It's been here 6 months. This is a CRT TV.
oh
It
yeah.
works, but it makes a strange noise. I'm
Oh,
troubleshooting it, and it's been there for months. And I hope
oh.
I'm reaching the end. That is really hard to repair. And my dad helps out with that as well.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, I think the ColecoVision it shouldn't be too difficult compared to a television, but maybe you need the skills and you need to understand what chip you need to replace. If I don't think it had a lot of RAM, but you can probably just buy the RAM chip and replace it. And I don't know.
Probably.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's probably a guide online or something.
Maybe
You
you can
can try.
find someone, yeah, and you can make a new indie game for the ColecoVision. That would be awesome. There
There
is a
are.
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
There are some. I was gonna say, yeah. I did write to a dude called Kenneth Oscar Albert. I don't know if you know him. He's done
No.
some stuff for the. I don't think it was ColecoVision itself. It's Intellivision, so slightly
Oh. Okay. Okay.
different. I don't know the compatibility through them. I probably none. I don't know, but it's similar graphics, sort of very Spartan graphics, and
Mm-hmm.
but apparently
Ah,
really good game. Good games, and he's made some other stuff. So there's plenty of devs doing all sorts of stuff.
oh
So
yeah.
after that, after your ColecoVision, what else? What came second?
Yeah. Of course. Was the NES, the NES.
Hey, the NES.
Yeah. I was. It was a huge jump in generation.
Yes,
Much
of course.
colorful and
Smaller
uh,
pixels.
smaller pixels, the music,
Oh yeah.
everything was so great. I didn't own one, so I played it at friends, and but we finally had one uh, probably some years later when was cheaper to buy, probably. So
Mm.
yeah, again, it was really wonderful as a kid. You I remember it was a world opening. Today
Uh,
you have Zelda Breath of the Wild where there's a
yes.
infinite world to explore, but it was the same impression we had in the day. The
Yes.
first Zelda game was a wide world to explore, and we it, it was more even in our imagination, I think, than on the screen. But uh,
Yes. Yes.
maybe that's why those games are so appealing. It's it makes your brain works more to imagine what is on the screen.
Yes. Yes.
So
That's also true. Yeah. When your brain makes a bit of the effort, it becomes a little bit more magical. It's like reading books. I always say to my
yeah,
kids. Yeah, it's
yeah.
true. It's true. And the things they're doing now with the NES, including Kharzoid, that it's quite incredible where they're getting at. I think another example of really pushing the boundaries of the NES is this Former Dawn. I don't know if you heard about it.
What?
Former Dawn.
Oh yeah, former don't. Well, yeah, they will use a special chip they
Yes.
developed for this, but it was it wouldn't be possible without that special chip. But yeah, that's looking like a modern game almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think about that? In fact, what do you think about using special chips? Is it breaking the boundaries of, or is it acceptable?
yeah. I think it is. Uh, some purists will say no, it's well, but it the engineer at back then they could do that. They could have done that in the past. So they just weren't willing to invest, or I don't know.
It probably
Or,
cost a lot more, because special
yeah,
chips then would be like really more expensive. Yeah.
that's probably why they never pushed the, the boundaries too far. But if it is possible, why not? It's still playable on the NES. But if you get to add some, I think you for more expansion audio, you have to buy the little expansion chip you plug underneath the NES
I've never used that, but yeah, that slot underneath. Yeah.
to play Former Dawn in its glorious way.
Yeah.
So if you have to insert a lot of additional piece of hardware. Uh, is it the vintage experience? I not sure, but I'm not against the idea. It's looking great, and I backed the Kickstarter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I backed yours as well. Hey, it was good. Yeah. It's good. So yeah, don't know, Diego, if you have any questions at this point, like in terms of just generic questions or.
Well, I wanted to ask, since you said you originally are a web developer, but why did you choose to start with a game on the NES and not something else, for example? Any
Yeah.
particular reason?
Yeah, probably because of my first love of my Smurf game, but it was on
Smurf game.
my old game. But um, I I always found, like I said earlier, I always found the old game, the old pixel game, was using more of your imagination, and uh, I would say I saw a bit of nostalgia, but I've been wanting to make an NES game for a long time. I don't know why. Not a modern game. Well, uh, I just don't feel like. I think I like the what I like about the NES is the limitation and
Yeah.
the
You're not. Yeah.
process. Yeah, the process
Mm,
of developing a game for the NES becomes a game in itself, because you have
Yes.
to it's like a puzzle. How I'm gonna do this, and so you spend your time. It's like a game in itself. Yeah, like I said. So that's what speaks to me, and that's why I wanted to do that. It's if you have too much possibilities, it's like when I wrote music in Cubase, and I have a lot of VST instruments, and you can add reverb and a lot, but I I try to find a very limited instrument I like, and only use a few, but because you get lost in all. And
mm.
that's the same thing with game development. If you have too much color, too much possibility, too much resource, you I get lost in all of this. So I like the NES because I focus on how uh, um, to squeeze the more I can of these limitation.
I think
Does
that's
that
very
make
very
sense?
good point. Actually, I I, I really think that sometimes limitations actually foster creativity.
Mm.
But from a technical point of view, do you think coming from web development to writing code from NES, was it challenging in, I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I tried to do it in assembly. I can write assembly, but
How
I
did you
was
learn it?
um, in school.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I in my when I went back to school at 37 years, it was a 3-year program to study computer science.
Hmm.
So we had a teacher named Louis Marchand,
All right.
Louis Merchant.
Okay.
um, he was fascinated about the NES, and you can say the NES, not the NES each time. NES is
Yeah, you
okay.
can say
I
whatever you
say,
want.
yeah, I say NES all the time, but
NES, okay.
I got scolded for that.
So
Yes.
the NES, he was a NES enthusiast, and to teach us operating system and memory management, he made us make NES game.
Oh right.
Um, so we had
I want to go to
to,
that school. Yeah.
yeah. So I recreated a bit of a Pac-Man game with the, but uh, basic movement and no collision. But it was for we didn't have time to go too far, but it was in assembly, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So it was kind of in my process of love wanting to make an NES game. I rediscovered the love of it while studying. So it was my teacher who, yeah. So
That's
uh, to come back to your question, yeah. So I tried assembly, but I was stressed on time. I wanted to develop it in 1 year. It
wow.
it took me three finally, but so, because I took a sabbatical year to make the
Oh,
game. I really wanted to invest myself, and uh, so I wanted to take 1 year to make it. But so I decided to use a C compiler.
okay.
I use CC 64, yeah, 65,
I don't
CC
know, but
60,
I compile it. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, compiler for no CC 64 is the Commodore.
Yeah.
It's another thing. CC 65 is a compiler, C compiler for the old engine for old console. So uh, I was able. I tried NES but it wasn't. It was too limited. I couldn't do it with NESmaker. There's no 8 by 8 collision. There's too much condition. There's too much slowdown. But I made a prototype in the NESmaker, but I switched to, and it was in assembly. So I switched to CC 65 thanks to Matthewson. I heard
Hey.
about him.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hi, Matt. So there's a cameo of Matt in my game. Did you find Matthewson?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was very. I asked his permission before, and he said he gladly said yes. But yeah, that the so being able to code in C was way more similar to web development, but way more, but not quite
Well,
similar.
certainly more than assembly.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it would be faster, but in insight, think, or I think I should have persevered and code in assembly.
Next one. The
Uh,
next one.
well, yeah, we'll try the next one. I will try. It's part of the fun of coding all things. But yeah, if I that was time limitation. I wanted to accelerate the development.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You said I remember. So, any other consoles that you own, like old ones? And last question, then for me, and then Diego can ask anything else in terms of that, and then we can get in the game. But what is your then after that? What is your favorite memory that you have with a console, like with friends or stuff like that?
Yeah, mm, that's a hard question
Yeah.
because every generation of console is linked to some memory at some point. I can say, oh yeah, the GameCube. Oh yeah, I was living there with my wife.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, when the Wii came on, I had my kids. I played with my kids. So
You have to
yeah,
choose one. You have to choose one.
ah, no, that's impossible. There's so great memory. Of course, my childhood consoles. If I had to choose between the NES and the SNES, I know it's too
Oh,
hard, man. It's too hard.
I give you two. I give you two. Then can you do two?
Yeah, but not the N64. It wasn't my favorite, but I think the SNES was great. It
SNES.
was a huge leap. Stereo sound, more color, more. The games are incredible. Super Metroid,
Yeah.
Zelda,
Yeah.
and all the likes. Uh, I had so much fun with friends, playing Street Fighter,
Oh yeah, my
two
God.
player
Still
game.
nowadays, yeah, yeah.
So the SNES, yeah, for my childhood console would win, but the NES still has a special place. I wouldn't develop for the SNES. It's too much like a modern pixel.
Oh, I
The,
wouldn't have expected that. Okay.
yeah, the NES, the SNES is too colorful. There's too much possibility. I still prefer developing for the NES. It has so much a strong personality it's unique. Yeah.
Yeah. How about if you want more limitation, go back down to an Atari 2600.
Not too much limitation.
no, no collision, just move a pixel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Uh,
no, the NES is the
all right, all
best.
right. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty of the Trial of Kharzoid. So
Oh,
usually, Diego explains the game, and if you're all right with that, that's fine. And then you can add anything you think that we're missing, and just see if we've got it right.
go ahead.
Okay, but can I also like mix it up with questions
Yeah, of
to
course. It's
Pascal?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
So,
Oh yeah.
all right. So the game that we're talking about, in case you haven't tried it yet, but I seriously recommend everyone to check out the demo, which is available on itch.io, is the Trial of Kharzoid for NES or NES, released I think 1 year and a half ago already. Is
The
it
demo,
so?
yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
demo was released 1 year and a half. When was the final version released?
Not long
last
ago.
month,
Yeah.
a
Last
month ago.
month.
Yeah,
Okay, right. So
uh,
released, let's say, into 2025 then.
yeah, yeah,
And it's essentially I'd say a Halloween themed brick
yeah.
breaker.
I really tried to release it on last Halloween, but
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah,
ready yet.
Oh, that's all right.
but it's
Yeah,
always Halloween if you want to.
yeah,
So, so it's presented as an Arkanoidvania for the NES,
yeah.
and it's at its core it's a brick breaker taken to another level thanks to lots of things, level variety. There's a narrative behind it. There are boss fights, gated exploration elements, lots of things in this game. My first question to Pascal was, uh, well, I suppose you are a fan of both Arkanoid and Castlevania,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
it it really struck me as an odd combination, these two together. So why did you choose to take a brick breaker, which is kind of a sort of very intuitive, simple kind of game, and mix
Hmm.
it with the complexity of Arkanoidvania stuff? Sorry, Castlevania
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. 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 Good question. Um, I think what I always liked genre smash up.
Yes.
Like the first obvious one is, and people mention this a lot, is Pinball Quest on the NES.
Yep.
So I played Pinball Quest back in the day, and it left a huge impression on me. So the idea get I played Yuku's Island more recently. Yuku's Island, it's
Oh,
like a
I don't know.
pinball adventure. It's a
Okay. Yeah.
pinballvania.
Yeah. Pimpelvania. Yeah. Love that word. Yeah.
I love Vania. I'm putting Vania
Vania.
everywhere. So so uh, um yeah, when I decided I wanted to uh, it kind of is the dream game I wanted to play when I was young.
Hmm.
So I made it for me primarily.
Well,
So
that's the best way. Yeah.
I thought if I like it, others, I'm certainly not the only one who would like to, because you play Arkanoid and you just don't feel like the cheesy story of science, science fi you got a spaceship, and I don't understand the story of
Yeah, yeah,
Arkanoid.
yeah. I know what you
So,
mean.
so I wanted to add depth and add a reason to break those bricks. And you you wanted I wanted the player to keep to stay motivated to reach the end, and by with an engaging storyline. And of course, I uh, the kind of gothic graphic, the design, the artwork, the gothic artwork of Castlevania. It's what I I'm making drawings on paper. When I was
Mm,
young, I was
yeah.
making a lot of skeletons, and I was reading Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Yes,
Uh,
I used to have some of those. Yeah, the
the
best. They were.
fighting fantasy
Yeah.
series. So all of this came together, and I decided to make a game. I came up with the term Arkanoidvania for a marketing purpose,
And for
and
generations to come.
yeah, it works.
Well,
So yeah, but other game that influenced me is Kirby Block Ball.
Yeah.
Kirby Block Ball is where I get the idea of using more than one paddles, and
Yes, that's
so
insane. I got to
uh,
a point that it was insane, man. How many paddles there were everywhere. Oh my god, I couldn't go. It's really fun though.
there's one level where there's five paddle uh, one of the last level of my game. There's five paddles. So yeah, I had a lot of fun mixing every kind of game together.
I have to say, at least you managed to engage me on this game because, uh, well, I wasn't even planning to, to be here today as I was on holiday. I had one day to play the game
Oh,
and I couldn't stop it.
oh
I
yeah.
I didn't finish it. Well, not in one day. I don't know how far I went because it felt already longer than I thought it was.
Okay.
So maybe don't know if this would be a spoiler. Maybe I'll ask you a private question later on how far did I go, or you
Okay.
can you can say when I eventually mention it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it was hard to stop playing it. I had to say, and
Okay.
it doesn't happen often with brick breaker kind of
Mm,
games.
mm,
I remember maybe only one or maybe two old Amiga brick
mm,
breaker that really were engaging, but those were
mm.
like simple levels, nothing special. But
So
right.
great.
So
I
should I?
Yeah, I think what makes the big difference here for Kharzoid is there, as Pascal mentioned, is there is a story, which I also really enjoyed the graphic style of how it's written. Of the drawings and how it's acted out. Let's put it that way. It's really different, and you're not expecting it. For me, as for probably 99% of the people who have played Arkanoid, it's just a bit of a mindless grind to just go da, 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 and yeah, and then you put it down, and it's a good 5 minutes you spent, but you're not really invested in it. Instead, this one was very different. There's a lot of mechanics that you don't see in a brick breaker, and that was the highlight for me that made me really want to stick with this game and try it out and obviously back it and all. But it was really engaging game for me as well.
Mm.
um So, and
Right.
there's paths. You go ahead, Diego. You can take it from here.
No, well, the narrative is, I think, I would say it's a classic fantasy narrative. There's a backstory about an evil necromancer wizard that apparently puts people on trial, maybe for his own amusement.
Mhm,
And eventually, you are the hero that is also uh, doing this trial, during which apparently people's soul are put into this skull, and the skull is actually the ball in the paddle game. And but you are a hero, so you have a plan, and you're going to defeat eventually the evil necromancer.
yeah.
And there are many characters that you can meet. Well, there's of course a sequence of level like in classic brick breaker games, but the levels are part of a map, so you have to navigate. It's not a linear progression in the sense that every now and then you get to levels with multiple exits. You can choose where to go. Sometimes one exit is blocked. You need to figure out how to unblock it. So many small, I wouldn't call them exactly puzzle, but let's say mysteries to solve in this game. How do I get past that area? There's a level, for instance, where you might encounter you might I actually just started to play the level, and only after a while I realized I could not beat that level because some blocks would not break. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute,
The wicked
how
laugh.
how do I how do I win this level? Yeah, so there's an element that Widow probably would love of gated exploration. So some
Yes.
levels you need to acquire something before you can beat that level and progress towards that area of the map.
Mm,
So there's many moments in these games that give you that feeling that you need to figure something out. And the narrative then continues with lots of NPCs, let's call them like that, non-player
mm.
characters that you can talk with by knocking at their doors, for instance, in some level.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah.
And some of these can give you quests, or they can sell you items, or they give you suggestions on how to figure things out. And there's a few villages with multiple of these characters that are places where you really want to go back later on, because that also what they say will change after you figure something out. So the
Mm,
next step to figure out. And
yeah.
then, of course, you get all the classic mechanics of brick breaker games. So, by which, in case you don't know, they are the games where you control a pedal and you have to bounce a ball on or a skull in this case to break various bricks that are placed on the level until you break them all, and then you probably beat the level, open up an exit. There's a series of power-ups coming down, power-ups or power down as well,
Yeah.
some of which are a bit of classic, like those that shrink or enlarge your paddle back,
Yeah.
some that give you more health. Well, one interesting thing that makes this brick breaker different from the classic ones is that you don't have a bottomless level,
Mm,
so that when the ball goes down, reaches the bottom, you lose a life. But instead, you essentially have one life with a certain number of health points. And below your paddle, usually there are spikes, not just there are also in other places of the screen, in other
okay.
directions. So the spikes will make you lose one of your health points, and only when you are out of health you will die. But then you have one life only. So you
Yeah.
continue playing, even if you lose, even if you miss the skull, sometimes you can keep playing like that.
Yeah.
Then you get your different types of bricks, and then things start to get interesting
Wait.
once.
I'm gonna say something else. Like the most sadistic power down that I've ever seen is the one that changes directions when you got all the paddles. That is really bad. I really
I
hated you. I really hated you then because I was like, oh, I can't. I really could not move.
Yeah, that's also, I think, a classic
I
power down that makes it very challenging.
My God.
I hate myself when I'm playing my own game. I'm getting angry.
It's
Why
so
did I
hard.
make it?
It's
So
so hard.
I had to make it
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Sorry,
All
Diego. I
right.
did
No,
interrupt.
no, that's fine. So then things start to get more complicated. There are also things on the screen that you can hit that are not strictly bricks. So I mentioned that there are sceneries with houses and doors, and you can access certain characters if you hit the doors. Then they come out, and there's a small dialogue for you to follow. There are also things on the ground, like flowers, plants, that you can pass through with the skull, and they might reveal some bonuses.
Yeah.
Like, or there are crates also that contain
Oh,
food. I think this is maybe a nod to Castlevania.
oh
That
yeah, the chicken leg,
yeah,
Chicken.
that
chicken
will
drum.
replenish your health.
Yeah.
And
I
others are not sure if they're berries or pebbles that will work
the
at
ammo,
the
you
ammo.
can.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Myself.
whatever you wish they are.
Let's put some
If you
pixels there.
if
Use
you
your
prefer, yeah,
imagination.
Oh
you can
yes.
choose if you prefer to shoot rocks or strawberries
Yeah, or
to your enemies.
three nuts.
Yeah, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
And there are also gems or rubies that you can collect and later on exchange for some upgrades
yeah,
with some of the non-player characters. And then I think, well, maybe my favorite thing of the game is the special abilities, or
Yeah, yeah.
these orbs that give you some action to do, because, well, the game is of course designed to work with the classic NES controller.
yeah,
So you have the uh, four direction button, and you're gonna need all the four directions, because in some levels you have more than one paddle on the screen, and they can also be on the left and right. So some move horizontally and some move vertically.
yeah.
And then with the
That's
two,
why.
yes,
Yeah, sorry, I had
Yeah, yeah,
to
interrupt. It's fine.
sure,
I have
sure,
to interrupt here. That's why I couldn't make the Arkanoid controller work.
The paddles. Yeah.
I can show maybe I can show the Arkanoid
Yeah.
to for people. So in the original Arkanoid, you had that controller that came
mm,
in the box. So you have the knob here to control the paddle left and right, and you only get one button on the top. So when you try to play my game, what the left right, what happened when for the vertical paddle up down?
yeah,
You have two. You have
And
two. You have two. Like that.
you need to
well,
advance
yeah,
button.
where how do you hold it in your hand? And
Yeah,
I tried so many. I tried really hard to support it. People keep asking me, "Do you support the?" I, I I wish I tried to find someone to help me because I had to manage everything and I did everything so that I couldn't do myself. I, I even asked someone to build a special controller with that would have cost too much and
Mm.
yeah, it's a bit sad that it didn't work because it would have been great, but it plays great with the controller too. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
yeah.
think
you.
so. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
I
So
think that you find the right
yeah,
amount of inertia in the movement, that it
yeah,
feels pretty good with the
uh,
buttons.
yeah. Okay, thank you. But I had to mention it was your viewer will want to know. Hey, can I play with the
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the
Arkanoid
paddle
controller?
controller.
No, you cannot.
No.
Sorry. But I really did try hard. I asked a lot of a lot of people. Okay,
It's
that's
all
it.
right. It's all right. I mean, you can only do what you can do, and also if the
Yeah,
cost goes too high, then people won't buy it. So if
yeah.
it has to be a trade-off. And also, is this your first game that you do for
Mm,
the NES? Yes. So don't hit yourself too hard. Don't it's.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's great as it is. All right. Sorry.
all right, but
Go,
yeah, well,
go.
where was I? All right, the special
Power ups.
abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, or
Oh yeah,
power ups if you want. So these are items that you find during your quest, and then they remain with you, and you can equip up to two of them, and then you use them with the two A and B button of
Mm-hmm.
the standard NES controller.
yeah,
And should you need to change them, like re-equip when you find more than two, then I think you do that with a select button. Then
Yeah.
then you can choose which is assigned to A and which is assigned to B.
Mm.
And you might want to use different ones in different levels. I'm not going to spoil them all, but I think that they might actually be in the manual, instruction manual, so not a
Yeah.
secret
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least the one you start with is the magnet
Hmm.
special ability that I definitely think that this saved my life hundreds of times in this game.
Yes, yes, same.
Yeah.
It's really a good mechanic. So what it does is when you press the button to activate it, it just wherever it is, it attracts the skull straight toward your paddle. So you can use it to save yourself, even if you're pretty far. It might move it
Hmm.
quite horizontally towards you, but it will move it towards you. But
Hmm.
you can also use it when the skull is maybe somewhere else beyond some bricks to control it better. And
Mm.
one thing that it always frustrated me back in the day with this kind of games is hit that one last brick
Yes, yes.
that to win the level.
Yeah. It takes
And
forever.
it takes forever, but thanks to the magnet, it doesn't anymore. You can really use it to help you with that. If you're going the wrong way, okay, call it back. And it takes a while to get used to it, but once you do it, it's really good. It feels really good to use this. I always kept it equipped.
Ah,
I
yeah.
rather change the other one, but I always kept the magnet.
Yeah, you get it at the start, at the very beginning of the
Mm.
game, because I was so afraid that the skull would get stuck in an infinite loop and bounce. Uh, so I didn't want that, but so I gave the magnet right away at the beginning, so it never gets stuck. But it shouldn't happen. There's always an angle in the ball, but you never know what. So I was so afraid to give the magnet. So it gives the game a more action oriented. You
Yes,
always
you're right.
involved in. Uh, Later I developed a new level. I included mechanics to really use the magnet. It became uh, really essential to the gameplay.
Yes, yes. I'm just going to add something here to echo what you said. Like initially, I think the first level when there was all the tombs to hit, and it happened to me in the demo and in the final version that the skull went in a like an infinite. I was waiting for it because I
Oh,
like I like as well to wait and see. Oh, where does it go? There's all this. It's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
its job. It's going to come back, and then at a certain point, it didn't come back. So I thought, hang on a minute. I'll use the magnet now because I was waiting for like 30 seconds, and I pulled and I pulled it back down, and I thought, oh, okay, I can see this is the mechanic
Mm,
to prevent this from happening. But as I progressed in the levels, I found out what you just said. It's just so much more because then you make it more action oriented because you can actually control it. And as Diego was saying before, I couldn't hit some bricks on I don't remember, level 4 or something. And I remember trying to actually target them. And when the skull was going down and when it was in a horizontal line towards the path, I would put it towards me and I would
yeah.
get that brick and I would say,
Mm,
yes, this is how it's also supposed to be
mm,
used. And that makes a huge difference.
yeah, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
All
So,
right. Yes, there's more. Of course, there's lots more in this game we
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
mentioned yet. So one other thing you'll immediately learn is there are creatures around the levels. First, you encounter the skeletons. They are quite easy. They just make the skull bounce, and then they're temporarily destroyed.
Yeah.
And then there's spiders. So there's different names because in the manual says there's not spiders because they have only four legs.
Yeah.
That they drop webs so that will slow you down, and there's a bunch of them. And perhaps my favorite, not in a pleasant way, but
In a sadistic way.
it's the I don't know how it's called. It's probably mentioned in the manual. Let me take a look. But it's the kind of swamp monster,
Oh,
um,
and the sewer?
Rachu. S-
Oh, oh,
Rachu?
I don't remember the name of my,
of your
Okay.
of my.
I thought it was a swamp or water monster or insect or something like that that
Oh
shoots
yeah, yeah,
bubbles.
the one that shoots bubble. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I it took me a little while to understand what it did because, to be honest, I didn't read the manual first.
Oh
I
yeah.
just read it after I played,
Who reads the
and
manual?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because of course, instinctively, I thought, well, it's a brick breaker game. Do I need a manual? Well,
Yes,
I should
turns
have
out.
read the manual because it of course it says what the bubbles do is that all these
Yeah,
abilities that I mentioned, they're not exactly, well, they are infinite, but they have a cooldown time,
yeah.
not too long, a few seconds, but there's a bar on the screen that indicates every time you use one, the bar goes down and starts filling up, so as to avoid people just keep shooting all the time, especially some of them, like I think some of them, that would be too much, a little bit too much to use them really all the time.
Hmm.
And this monster was my favorite once I figured out that the bubbles that I first didn't notice what they were doing, so I thought they did nothing. But what they do is actually they drain your energy for the special ability. So if they touch the paddle, then you can't use the special abilities. You have to wait a few seconds more. So
Some
then I
of them,
started
yeah.
paying
So
more
some will
attention.
still work. I think the speed boost for the pad. Some will still work,
Oh,
but those that require the special mana energy, you won't be able. It's really going back slow.
mm.
It's, so yeah, yeah.
Oh, so that
Uh,
all right. So I didn't notice the speed ability
I
still
Is
works.
immune.
I tried to add a visual cue to let the player know there's something. At first, if the bubble touch the paddle, the mana goes to, and there's some sparkles on the mana bar, but that wasn't enough. So I added a screen shake. So when the
Mm.
bubble touch
Mm.
the you see there's something happening. So uh,
You don't know what it is, yeah, but
it,
yeah,
it
it's
was
just
hard to convey the thing visually, but
that's why we
maybe
should read the manual. Yeah.
I should always read the manual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then so I won't
So
spoil many creatures. Those you'll encounter soon enough, so I won't tell the others. But there are also some bigger creatures. There are actual boss fights in these games.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that those were quite fun. I don't know if I can ask. I reached the third one.
the
That was the demon
oh yeah, in
fight.
the temple, the
Yes.
tentacles. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know how far am I with the game.
Uh, I think you had 2/3, maybe no two,
Okay.
but
Okay.
you didn't go past the forest. You
Did I
you
go past the forest? I reached
in
the
the
castle and
desert.
found that the door was closed.
Okay, yeah, in the desert.
Then yes.
Okay,
So that
so you're pretty well, yeah, more than half. Yeah,
okay. Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
But it's supposed to take 3 hours, three maybe 4 hours for the first run, but three should be. So I don't know how many hours you spent, but if you
Probably
beat
about that.
the temple is optional, but you find more of the lore, more you find an upgrade, I think, a orb, special orb, and
Mm.
but you can skip the temple if you want to go straight to. But it's more fun. It's fun to do a complete game, but it was optional. It's the part of the Vania thing that is hard to implement. Is what what is optional, what is how to to open a certain path. It, it, it was really hard to design. So at first, the temple I wanted to be to give something really important to the
Mm.
player to advance to, and then I s- I I thought, oh, maybe you should make it optional, just give more power up uh, and other things in there too. But uh, anyway,
Yeah,
Mm,
well, this is good that it's not so obvious to me what is mandatory and what is optional. Uh, Now I think when I left the game yesterday or early morning hours, when I just had to say, okay, stop playing it for now. I think I got a bit lost, so I probably was a bit lost in the sense that I thought, have I visited everything that I can and
mm,
missed something now to continue? But anyway, I haven't managed to get past the doors of the castle, and I'm not sure if I have to because I think there's some character there mentioning there
yeah,
might be another way,
yeah,
and I
you have.
do have at least a couple of quests open from characters
Oh yeah,
that I haven't figured out. Yeah,
those are optional, but yeah, you have to find a secret path. I
Oh,
mm,
yeah.
yeah,
it, it's a hard part of designing a Vania. What uh, how much secret path do you put in there? there wa- there is one you had a hard time to find is a solution to exit the forest. I had a NPC who gives the solution in the haunted town.
Yeah.
But you, the player will not always think about, hey, I'll go back to the town, speak to the lady again. Once you speak to her, uh, why should you go back to speak to her again? But you have to. She gives several tips, but uh, it's hard to let the player know where to go, where you're supposed to go here. So yeah, that was the
yeah,
hard part.
yeah, yeah. For the listeners, I have to confess I did ask for help in one point. Yeah, because at first I almost thought if it was a bug or something that it would just keep returning to the same screen as I tried
Yeah,
to exit it, and there were no bricks to break in that level.
Mm,
But
it's like in Zelda, the forest, how they call it, the when in Zelda you always come back to the same loop. You have to know the combination to exit right, up,
Okay.
and uh, it's that kind of maze. Yeah, I wanted a little
Special
homage
combo. Yeah. Yeah.
to Zelda. The, actually, there's a lot of Easter eggs. Did you find any Easter eggs in my game?
I don't
Of
think I did myself. I did a quick look on YouTube as well for Kharzoid. I don't think I found any Easter eggs in particular. Did I?
okay.
No. Oh, I don't remember this. I've actually played it, but I don't remember some of the levels that I played. But no. For me,
That's
I
okay.
think the thing that I was just having fun with it. Really, I didn't really focus on. For me,
No.
it was just very intense. There's a level you'll see if you look at my thing about 30 minutes in, where I'm with the three paddles, and it's absolutely insane for me.
I thought
Sorry.
those were the best levels.
Yeah, it was very fun, but very very
I'm
hard.
so sorry.
It's fine.
But
It's fine.
they
I
are
love it.
confusing in a good way. Yeah, they're messing up your mind because you have like one level you have three paddles. There's one in the middle. So it's already a bit more challenging when you have two that you have to think upside down. But then when you have a
Mm,
third one in the middle, it's even more confusing because
Yes.
are you using it to bounce it down or to bounce it up? Well, it depends what you still need to do to beat the
Well, there's
level.
spikes. There's spikes underneath it. So also in the
Yeah.
middle, it's just like, oh, this is a really, you know,
Yeah.
not a good one. This one, I was like, oh, why they put the spikes here? And there's so little space, and you have to go and bounce it out. That was like really sadistic. Anyways,
Uh,
No, no,
but it was
I
good. It
like
was good
those
fun.
levels.
Yeah, yeah. I also,
uh,
if you listen to the YouTube video, I'm having fun with that because it's really really good.
yeah, I did watch. Um, One of my good friend was a game developer also said, don't put it here. It's too early in the game. It's too hard." Yeah, but that's where it goes. That's
Yeah.
where I want it to be. But I know
It's
it's
all right. Yeah, yeah,
kind of the challenge rises up
yeah, yeah. Very much so.
quite a
Yeah,
bit. Well,
it was cool though. But no, I didn't find any Easter eggs. Is there anything you want to mention in regards to the Easter eggs? Yeah, just leave it at that.
yeah, no, there's just cultural reference. Of course, there's Marius and Luigius, two NPCs you meet who are brothers. Uh,
Oh, maybe. Is that in the town? Because I've seen the town. I just
yeah,
don't remember it. Yeah, yeah. I've been in
yeah.
the town before.
In the village, hidden village in the forest. Did you find?
Maybe it's later on. Yeah,
It's later in the forest. Yeah, you find Marius with his brother is missing, so you have to find him.
yeah, yeah.
But
No.
the big guardian, the big ogre, the green bully who guards the bridge, the first boss, he says, "I must break you like Drago in Rocky 4. I must break
Ah,
you."
Ah,
yes. But see, I've seen that in Italian. So he says, "Io ti spiezzo in due." Remember, I didn't. I never
Oh,
saw it in English, so I didn't get that reference. I guess.
that's yeah.
okay.
I split you in half. Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's why. Or
Oh, all right.
other like that, or in Star Wars, all these I feel got a bad feeling about this. As- like Han Solo says, yeah,
Oh,
some reference like that, and yeah, but not
I
too
think
much.
also all the boss. Well, I've only went as far as 3 boss fights. I don't know how many I haven't seen yet, but each one of
I think
them
it's five.
has some reference to like literature or games or video games of the past.
yeah.
I don't wanna talk about them, but maybe the first one where the breach troll is also from the fairy tale. But
Absolutely.
also, I noticed that the others have something to do with other media, classic video games or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
Of
felt
course,
very nice.
That's
it's
pretty
just
cool.
a rehash of all my influence and my yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. How many branching paths are there? Like, and how did you design them? Because, like, what it seems like a straightforward thing. Oh yeah, I'll do some paths over here, and one that goes left and one goes right. But what do I put where I go left? And is that like a completely different scene, like maybe a forest, and then right, maybe I go to like a desert? How did you plan that out?
Yeah, like I said, it was a hard thing to do.
Mm,
I I have my a special Photoshop file where I put all my my
tiles, yeah.
levels in the order that the path. So I kept hours, sometimes hours, looking at the path and rearrange it.
Mm,
That level is too hard. I'll put it here. I'll at first, yeah. So uh, the game came progressively in its place. Um, there's something missing there to balance the way the Photoshop looked.
yeah.
So I put the temple there, and so it kind of I really relied on that Photoshop file to place where I put the keys and the different path. There's not that much crossing path. How do you say the several branching path?
Branching paths, yeah.
Yeah,
There are not many, you're saying, or there are many.
not that many.
Okay.
Some are optional. There's a lot of optional. If you want to complete the game it, and find everything, the game will definitely be easier because you have all the upgrades, all the power ups. You
Yeah.
feel the power.
The power of Karazoid.
Yeah, I love those upgrades. It
I
feels
love them,
great,
yeah.
but the game is really easier with all the power ups. So if you want to replay the game in a more challenging way, you can skip the optional part, and it will be way harder. So uh, there there's not a difficulty mode on the game. You have to choose your own difficulty as you like uh,
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah. I
But
see what you mean.
yeah, so that's it. That was the question again.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering as well. Like you say, you got your Photoshop file then, and you
Ah,
switch around and you swap around one tile or one
oh
level
yeah,
with another. So that's, I say, quite easy in Photoshop because you drag it and you put it. Is that
yeah.
the same? Is it that as easy doing it on the NES?
Oh, yeah, not really. Yeah, but wha- you have to always. A small change can take several minutes to reprogram and there's a lot of hard coded where you have to go back to the file and say, oh no, that left exit now leads to another level,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that other level you have to change it too, because the
Yeah.
uh,
Of course. Of
the
course.
left exit on the one is the right exit of the other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to change at least two to change one level. So I forgot a lot of things, and when I tested it, it was all a mess near the end. Now it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
but yeah, it was a pretty a painstaking process,
yeah.
something like that.
I think
So
that's the right word. Yeah.
yeah, even just changing a collision, I had to change one one byte of data, and recompile the compilation, re-import it. It
Yeah. It's a,
was
a bit long process. Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So maybe maybe I could have code a tool or something to easy the process, to
Make it
facilitate the
easier. Yeah.
process.
Make it faster.
Ma-
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all right. It's
But
all right. It's just curious. Yeah.
it was part of the fun doing all by hand, and I like it. So
So how did you test it? Did you test it by yourself, or did you have a bunch of testers?
yeah, a lot. But mm, I have 5 kids,
Aye,
so
that's the best testing.
how are you there? So my two
Five
old
kids.
ah, it's
Dude.
winters are long and cold in Quebec. So 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 we make kids. No, so my two older sons helped me a lot.
Mm,
So they tested out. I tested really all by myself. But near the end, I really wanted to have to I ask in my Discord server if I had two really good friend followers
yeah, yeah.
who tested it for me. Kando Ubuntu and I don't remember uh, what's the name of
That's all right.
I don't remember.
Take your time.
That's,
It's fine.
sorry. So no, no. Anyway, it's because I'm a bit nervous, but sorry.
And don't worry about it. It's
They
fine.
are in the credits. Uh,
Okay.
so they helped me a lot to find other thing I didn't think. They went, they they uncover. So yeah, it was a. Uh, uh, but I tested a lot by myself, mainly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a big effort, isn't it? It's a lot of stuff to do. And
yeah,
also, I'm guessing you did the graphics by yourself
yeah,
and the music because you said you do music. So yeah.
and the music and
Wow.
a lot of
Uh,
things.
yeah, I like those creepy in-game tunes a lot, especially that sound. I don't know how to call it, but that was that creepy
The,
sound.
the
I have
choir
no.
sound.
Yeah, some sort of a choir, like dark choir.
Yeah,
It really made the set the
yeah.
mood of
Yeah,
these kind of
the
games in a
distance.
very nice way.
I really wanted to have that in my. It was clear from the beginning I wanted a choir. I sampled 2 chords, and it takes 8 kilobytes, I think, for 2 choir chords and 1 drum sample. So
Wow.
for 3 samples, I take kilobyte of data, but it is really worth it. Um, Later I discovered, but I knew it, but later I discovered I could down pitch the sample. So later in the game, you enter the sewer underneath the Kharzoid castle, and there's that choir sample is tuned down so low it gives a more creepy effect. But you can the soundtrack is already available on my Bandcamp, so you can listen to it. Uh,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Before playing the level, but it gives a really wonderful effect.
Yeah, I think music is one of the things that in video games actually makes a huge difference in terms of how you experience that game. I've just come out of another game, Infestation, which also has the soundtrack, which is really, really evocative and really puts you in the place. And Karazoid similarly does
Yeah,
the same job, and it's really eerie, and I love it. It's
thanks.
really interesting ideas as well. The thing that caught for me that was the most innovative thing was all these mechanics coming together with a Arkanoid game, and I think that's the most innovative thing that I've seen actually, in terms of different games, you know. And I think
Mm.
this has been a source of inspiration for some other devs. I think the Ueda was mentioning Locust US or something. I think they mentioned, I might be wrong, I think they mentioned Karazoid as an inspiration for their game.
Mm, great.
So it's
It's
good
kind of
stuff, yeah, opening new doors to new genres. And
yeah.
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to what comes next, which I'll ask you in a minute. But before that, there is battle mode. Oh,
Oh, the battle mode.
yes,
Yeah.
I did not try the battle mode because I have no one to try it with. Well, my kids, but they refuse to play these games. If they're not Roblox or Fortnite, they won't play it.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
The pain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I really wanted to add from the beginning. I had this idea of a Pong game, but so I implemented. That's why I couldn't release the game in last Halloween. I took one of the reason I took really the time to. It gives a more replay value. Uh, I don't know if people will play it a lot because you have to have a second player, but
Man,
uh,
what's sad? Isn't that sad nowadays that we have to say this? I don't know if people will
yeah,
play because we don't know if we got second player. Oh no, that's really sad.
there's a Wi-Fi chip now for the NES, but
Yes.
I don't think it could it would worth it on my game just to play the two battle mode. Um,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I tested it with my sons and we really had fun.
yeah,
But and it give a replay value, so I wanted to give my uh, buyers, my
yeah.
players, more for their money. Yeah,
And I think that's really a good thing, especially like if I could ever convince my son to play or my daughter to play this together, then yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have loads of fun. But that's the hardest part is not having the fun; is convincing them to play it. But otherwise,
yeah,
yeah, I think it's a very good idea.
yeah. So
So
you when you play the two player battle mode, you can use the magnet, but alternatively, when the skull touch your paddle, you have the magnet control, so you can fool the other player, and it kind of add
another
once
level of
again the
mechanics.
magnet is still useful
Yeah.
even in the two-player mode.
Can you
So
use all the power ups or only the
uh,
magnet?
if I remember well, no, yeah, it's been a long time since I played. uh, do I have the dash? I don't think so. I think
That's the
no.
lightning bolt,
Well,
isn't it?
I
Yeah.
think there's only the magnet. Sorry,
It's all right.
I've
So don't worry. Don't worry. It's fine.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, there's multiplayer, so you can do couch multiplayer, which was the best thing for me in the 80s and
Hmm.
90s, growing up, having friends around and playing. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I don't know if there's anything else you want to add in terms of story or anything else that we might have missed. But I think, don't know. You tell us.
Yeah. Speaking of two players, just a quick note. in the adventure mode, in the main mode, you can a second player can take the controller and control the vertical paddles. So some levels where are too difficult, but not too difficult, but a second player control the vertical player paddle with the
With a
second
second controller.
controller.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't even try that. Oh,
Oh yeah, so
okay.
yeah,
Maybe
that's possible. It's
is
in the
that. I
manual.
was gonna say that's in the manual that no one reads. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
making it.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that was a the launching was a mess. I wasn't. I really wanted to launch it as quick as possible, as soon as possible, but my manual was not ready.
This manual.
So I launched it anyway. There was still a bug or two. It's kind of, yeah, managing and business thing is not my biggest force, my skill.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult, isn't it?
But earlier you asked if I did almost all of the artwork.
Yes.
At the beginning of the project, I was so afraid I couldn't do it. I was always thinking that I should hire a real artist.
And
Uh,
no, I didn't say that. It's not a real. You're a real artist as well.
yeah, yeah, on with pen and paper. But pixel art is an art in itself. So
It's true.
you can see the game came out pretty much as you go along. So you can see as the level progresses, you can see the I was getting better at
The
pixel
art.
art.
Yeah.
So the first level is the cemetery. It's always been the first level I made, and it's really simple. But when you reach the end and the Kharzoid castle, you can see there's a contrast, a big difference in the quality of the pixel art. Even, but I should say I used some royalty-free art from Luis Zuno, who
Okay.
is, even for the last boss, I really wanted to do it myself, but he had such a good sprite, and I have
Yeah. No.
the
Yeah.
right to use it. But for the final boss, it does the job, and I didn't make the final boss I
Oh,
don't
it's
want
alright.
to
It's alright.
spoil anything, but you'll see that it's so great.
It should be
You have
Karazoid, not the last boss. So it
oh
has to
yeah,
be
yeah.
Karazoid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real epic ending. I don't know. There's a twist at the end. It's so hard to keep secret. I want
No,
to talk about
don't
it.
say
It's so epic. It's so great. I think
Oh
I
God.
will say it, but spoiler alert for your viewer if you want to play the game. There's a. I really wanted that when you reach the end, you get your body back. The game is that
Oh.
your soul is put into the skull, and
Yes. Yes.
you go playing Arkanoid with the skull. But what happens when you get your body back? You don't
You're not bored
stay in.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't make it an adventure game with a sword? And so for the
Oh
last
my
level,
God! Is that really how it? Oh, I need to. Oh, I want to finish it right
ah,
now.
I don't want to spoil too much, but for the last few levels of the game, you have your body and your sword, and you kick ass.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's so hard to keep secret. I want to share. I want to share images and videos.
No, don't,
I,
don't.
no, I
I'll
can't.
try to do a long play, see if I can beat it. But it's very hard. How many? I was gonna. You know what? My question was gonna be the last battle. How many paddles are there gonna be? Like 20 paddles.
In the last, yeah, just craziness. Uh, I tried to make a level with like 20 paddles, but it was too slow. Too
Thank God.
it was a mess. So I tried, but let be it be forgotten for the eternity. It was a mess. So the last boss, no, you don't fight the last boss with the paddle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
It's
just
really in your human form. Yeah.
yes, yes. That's
So
right.
Yeah, that's the spoiler thing, but it's really
Uh,
it's rewarding. It's epic.
yeah, I can see as
Yeah,
you're saying that makes it even more difference. This game just keeps on giving till the end, to the very end.
yeah, but I cannot talk about it. It's hard. Maybe one in a month or two, people will have time to play, and maybe it will not be so secret anymore. I will maybe share it.
Hmm. As I'm
There's a
looking,
YouTuber out there who will share it real soon.
yeah, yeah, we will share it for sure, of course.
The ending. Well,
The ending,
so
I don't know, but we will
no,
share it,
no.
of course. I'll
Okay,
try and do a long play, but yeah, you tell
yeah.
us when the time is. We'll
Sorry,
put it on the stream.
you were asking for difficulty. Uh, I interrupted you.
Did I?
You
I don't
said
remember.
you had a question about the it was difficult and uh, oh, like if you reach the ending, is there's 20 paddle?
Yeah, that was a joke. I knew
Yeah,
there wasn't 20 paddles because you were saying that you had
yeah,
your human form back. But I was
yeah,
expecting it to be absolutely mental. But no, instead it changes completely.
yeah.
That's really fun. No, I was saying about the graphics. So in the
Oh, yeah.
beginning, when the cutscene happens, and there's a small tutorial, I didn't even think I didn't think, oh, this is bad graphics. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
And you got a little image of the guy with his body standing on a field with the clouds in the background. That looks really good. It looks legit. It doesn't look like you've never done pixel graphics. It looks like you've
Yeah,
done it forever. So
yeah.
I think yeah, I think you're good to go.
There was some talent. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
It's all right.
I wasn't a total beginner, but I was more like a traditional artist with pen and paper.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that shows. I was not a beginner. Yeah.
And I think one last question for me is, why Karazoid? What does that mean? Is that a name of something that I'm missing and I don't know what it's about?
Yeah, yeah, good question. I tried to find some a word that didn't exist. you
Okay.
can you can Google Kharzoid and it's my game that pops out. But I tried to rhyme with Arkanoid. Maybe it should
The
rhyme
epiphany
to.
moment. Yes, Arkanoid, Karazoid. Yeah.
Maybe that's what I thought. I wasn't sure what I wanted to rhyme with Arkanoid, Kharzoid. Maybe so it's unique and it rhymed with Arkanoid. Yeah,
And it's a
that's
great name for like a wizard, Karazoid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Near the end, you read his full name. Don't remember, but a character says his
Yeah.
full name. It's only uh, his first name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Kharzoid.
just thought that there's hemorrhoid as well. It's-
Yeah,
it's-
he's a pain in the ass. Yeah, yeah. No, no,
oh dear.
that wasn't
Family
that
friendly
wasn't my.
show. Sorry. Yeah, no, that wasn't it. But I just thought, oh, that rhymes. Why my stupid mind goes there? I don't know. But anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No.
really good. So, Diego, do you have any other questions before I ask some other questions in
No, no.
terms of
My
the
last
future?
question was going to be the same that you just asked. Where did the name come from? So if you
Mm-hmm.
have more of your own, just
No.
just go ahead.
Ah, yes, me. Yeah, I just wanted to ask in theory, like a bit more curious about what the future holds. So that was your first game, and I'm really hoping you do a sequel. With I think in the Discord we did like a little brainstorm of ideas, but I probably let
Yeah,
myself go a bit too much. I'm sorry about that because I love
that's
doing
all.
game stuff and just, so I thought, oh, maybe you can put this in the second game, or what is the second game
Yeah,
going to come, or are you you
yeah,
planning on releasing this game also on other platforms or having help to port them to, I don't know, microcomputers or other consoles? Just about the future, really. What does it hold for you?
yeah. Good question. Yeah, it was. I kind of struggled with the idea of porting it to a modern. For Steam, for example, I got a lot of requests to port it,
Mm,
to release it on Steam.
What do you
or
think
even
about the games on Steam as well? Sorry if I ask you another question inside the question. I
yeah.
do that a lot. Sorry.
uh, there was a survey not long ago. Maybe people are playing like 20% of the game they are buying on Steam. So I feel like you buy much more game than you can play. So
Yeah, that is true.
uh, it's my
Mm.
case. I like to support developers, so I buy a lot of games just to support the
Yeah,
devs, but I don't have time to play it. So I'm really sad about it, but that's
that's
the
the truth.
reality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but Steam, yeah, there's. I think it's okay. I think they are doing well with what they're doing.
Mm.
It may be hard to get the prime time and get on the first page, but if you have really your followings and you make some publicity, I didn't release. Uh, no, I don't have a strong opinion on Steam. No, that's I feel fine with it, but
Okay.
I would. I wouldn't release just a ROM, just the NES game on Steam. That's why I choose itch.io.
Yes.
So I released the ROM there, but I'm working on to answer your question. I'm working right now to I remake the game in Game Maker to to add Steam functionality like unlocking achievements and
Okay.
uh, so I will release a Steam version. But I struggle with the idea: do I stay true to the NES? Do I stay pure? I am a NES developer, and I don't go for modern. I, or maybe I should just encapsulate the ROM in the emulator and release on Steam like it is.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
I
see.
feel that it's cheating a bit.
It's a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? Like, I have
Yeah.
my personal opinion on, let's say, these sorts of modern indie games coming out on Steam.
Mm,
I don't know if I should go into the depth of what I
maybe
think
a
right
bit.
now.
It will enlighten me.
No, no, but it's just my personal opinion. So
Yeah.
I personally don't think. And other people have different opinions. I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
asked, yeah, but for me at least, once it goes on Steam, it kind of needs to be, let's say, on par with the Steam games in some respect for me. So I really struggle to want to play a game that's for a retro, let's say, as you said,
Mm,
encapsulated in an emulator on Steam. I
mm-hmm.
find it took me a while to get to this point when I realized that myself, I don't really think that's a. It has to measure up then with all the other Pixel games for me because they're all in the same family, and
Yeah.
it's difficult for them to stand out. And and then you are also navigating through heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of games, and it's wow. But that's
Yeah.
just me. Yeah, that's my opinion, and I tend to not want to buy re-releases. But I do understand the importance of people who don't have an NES, but then
Mm,
follow the NES on Steam and get those releases and games that are, let's say, as you said, wrapped in an emulator, or I think 8-bit legit do these sort of conversions as well. I don't remember for what platform. If I think I'm correct, and but then it always loses the flavor for me. For me, the CRT there is the way to play these
mm,
games with either the
yeah.
Mister or the actual hardware, the NES. It would be lovely to have the NES attached at all times, and the Mega Drive, and the N64, and the Commodore 64, but absolutely no space, and I cannot do it. So I always have to resort to the Mister because or an
Yeah.
emulator because it's so much more easy. But it's that platform in my head. I am playing now on that platform, yeah, and not on Steam. As soon as
Mm,
I put my hands on a controller, on a wireless controller, then it has to be, for me, it just assumes a
yeah.
completely different role and aspect, and it just doesn't work for me anymore. Again,
Yeah, you're
this
right.
is just me. This is just me.
But if I port the Trial of Kharzoid, I won't just make it one for one. I, I will support the mouse, for example, for a more analog control of the paddle.
Yes.
It's just an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
I don't know if it will be fun or feasible, but I will add a level editor. I will add more, maybe add a level or two. And
Yes.
it really should feel like I reworked the game for, like, it's not just a NES ROM that
But
I
would you
dumped
would
there.
you redo all the graphics as well? Would you put the would you increase the number of colors? Uh,
No.
See, it's
Eh.
yeah, it's a difficult one.
Uh, uh, yeah, I thought my good friend, I have a friend will help me, the one I was speaking earlier, who
Yes.
helped my who is developing game with Game Maker. He wanted to code the possibility to switch to HD graphics or more whatever graphics, and uh, so the idea came up. Do I do a SNES style graphic, more color? I'm not sure. Maybe, I
I'm
want.
not. I'm not going to swear you. I can't swear you. I don't want to swear you. I just, yeah. I have. Yeah. I would love to see something more myself, but
Yeah,
I will keep me. I will keep my judgment for me. However, I wanted to ask you as well. What about other platforms? Are you planning, for example, to port it to the Mega Drive or to?
no,
No.
no. It's an NES game.
Okay.
At the uh, I wanted to do it for the NES, and the, no, I won't port it to other retro console.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. There's no expectation from me. It was just more of a question, really.
Yeah, yeah,
And also, does the future hold after
yeah.
Karazoid? Is it going to be Karazoid 2? Paradroid?
Yes,
Oh, that's another game.
the return of Kharzoid.
Yeah.
Uh, I will work mainly on my of porting the game to Steam and
Yes.
maybe the eShop, Switch eShop. But uh, I want to do a follow-up, but I won't do another Brick Breakers because I feel like I've exhausted all my ideas.
Okay.
It will be redundant if I try to make another Arkanoidvania. So I will make a more adventure game where the hero just he was so in the skull for so long that he became like Kharzoid, trying turning to the dark side
Okay.
and trying
Darth
to
Vader.
understand what is happening, and he still has the skull and what to do with that, and maybe it's a curse of Kharzoid.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, it will be a more traditional action or RPG in the. Mm, I'm still. Ah, that's enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. All right. All right. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I will try to make another one. I can't take another sabbatical year to
Fair
work on
enough.
that. It costs a lot of money. But if I have some suggestion to a developer who would want to take a sabbatical year, it seems like a good idea. But the first year, I didn't work more than 30 hours a week. I had so many things to do, and I was so distracted by. Uh, there's some week I was only working 10 hours on my game. It was hard to get
Yes, yes.
to
Down.
sit down and
Yeah.
work when there's sunny outside. You go play with the kids. There's so much distraction when you're at home. So I eventually found a part-time job, and I found that with a part-time job, I was more
Structured.
structured,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, more disciplined. I came back from work. I did my work. I was working more on my game with a part-time job,
That's
and,
incredible. Yeah, yeah.
and the bank account was draining more
Happier.
slowly while I was happier. So, is it worth it to take a sabbatical year? Maybe if you're really disciplined and dedicated, but keep at least a part-time job to keep the money entering and keep
Flowing. Yeah.
yeah, changing your mind, meeting people, so as they get out of the house. So I found it way easier. So I was working 30 hours a week on my game with a part-time job which I couldn't do with while in sabbatical here. So just
Hmm.
an aside. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll be listening, keeping my ears peeled. I will try and do a long play of Kharzoid, see if I want to reach the end now because I really want to see this epic ending.
Yeah, you do.
Diego, do you have anything to add? I think I've got something else, but very small.
No, I just want to add that whatever other game you're coming out with, please inform us, because I was really impressed by this one. And also, I'm very happy to have known you with this interview, because I I kept thinking all the time that I think you have a very strong game designer mindset. You thought about
Yes,
so many things from a player's perspectives also, and I can tell you that the game shows all the care that you have put into it. It really shows. I
Thank you.
didn't even know that a brick breaker could be so engaging, honest, so
Thank you.
entertaining.
Yeah, I was surprised myself. I haven't actually. Near the end, I was playing it, and man, I made a good game, and I love playing my own game. Uh,
yes,
that that's a good sign.
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
Yeah.
I've got one last question in terms of indie retro or however you want to call them, the new games for old microcomputers and platforms. From any other developer, is there anything that you particularly like or you've played?
Uh, yeah, but I'm
I know you
pretty
said
much
you haven't got much time, but if you,
yeah. Yeah, I'm following more of the NES community, so I have
yes,
a large homebrew NES game collection.
yes,
I'm buying almost all that is coming out. So I like when they surprise me. They don't just repeat the. Uh, it has to get to be original and engaging. Just
yes, yes,
not.
same.
I feel like with the modern tools, everybody and his son can make a game, an NES game, and it becomes uh, like a thing where the market gets really more game than it should.
Yeah,
Oh,
oversaturated.
but
Yeah,
saturated, yeah, that's the word. So, or some company, not just some company are jumping in the boat and investing
yeah,
a
bit
lot
more
to make.
money.
So you feel like some do it for a cash grab, some do it like for their family hobby, and so you have to. I like to support. One example is Dale
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 Coop. Yeah, yeah.
Coop.
Skate
So
Cat. Shout out to
skate
Dale.
cat.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know Dale. I spoke to him a few times. He's really a nice guy. So I did buy his game, although it's a kid game. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
game made by a kid actually. So it does is it worth $100 you're paying for? And I bought it because it's so lovely and it, it's an, but I wouldn't do it for everybody, if you
Yes.
know what I mean. It's sad, but they'll so uh, yeah, that the market gets saturated. Will get more and more saturated with nest maker too. You get a lot of quick game that gets released that looks like uh, worse than the official game from 40
Mm,
years ago.
I know.
So
Yeah, we had this discussion with Gumpy Function and the Game Boy.
ah,
Similar things happening
yeah,
there.
yeah, I read the article. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think more than that, my question was more
Oh,
around: is there any games
oh,
from a
sorry.
modern developer? No, no, it's fine. That you've actually enjoyed, that you've actually had the time to play and really enjoyed. And if you had to choose one or two, which would they be?
Yeah, the Morphcat did an incredible job with micro mages.
Oh yes,
Of course,
everyone
everybody
loves
loves.
micro mages. Yeah.
Such a fun game. We reached the end, and it was really really great. So, but my favorite, I think, would be L'Abbé des Morts, the
Ah,
Abbey
yes,
des
Uh-huh.
La Vallée des Morts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
L'Abbé des Morts. It's a French title. So,
Sorry, sorry if I
so
pronounced it really wrong. Sorry.
you're nice. Yeah, you're good. Um, it was really unexpected and kind of challenging and out of the you yeah, you don't have any weapon in the game. You just have to jump around and yeah, avoid the obstacle. And but the game is fun. It's engaging. I was surprised, and it was it's one of my favorite. But there's so many. I can look right away here. Yeah,
But those are the ones that came to
yeah,
mind. So I think that those are
yeah.
the ones that you're more
Alwa's
fond of.
Awakening. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we covered that as well. Yeah, there's quite a lot of good stuff coming out nowadays for the old platforms, which is I think very 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 amazing, and I'm really
Oh
happy
yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, well, I think
yeah.
we finished. So I'd say the usual endings here. So game at newgameoflame.com is where you can write your emails. Thanks for coming, Pascal.
Was a
And
pleasure.
Thank
it was
you.
really nice to have you here. I saw you on some screenshots. I thought you were a blonde girl, but no, you're not. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really good to have you here. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And let's hope to hear from you again very soon in the future with maybe
Mhm.
a new game or a new port, as you were saying. And I'm really curious to see how and where you go next. If you want to leave any message for the listeners and the viewers, where can they find you?
If sorry,
Sorry,
if
if you want to, where can the people find you, get in
oh,
touch with you? Yes,
yeah.
besides on our
Um,
Discord.
I think I'm more active on Twitter X. Twitter
Okay,
X
X,
X.
yes.
Yeah, Pascal Belisle
Belil,
on
yeah.
on X or pascalbelisle.com. But there's no way to no to reach me is will be on X. Yeah,
On X. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you again very much.
it was a
Uh,
pleasure.
yeah. Thank you, Diego, for coming around. I don't know if you've got anything to add. Otherwise, we'll just say no. Okay. Diego shakes his head.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again,
Thanks.
guys, and talk very soon. And until next time, keep safe. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.